So hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We are featuring yet another Nio. As you saw on my channel, we have featured the ET5 and ET5 Touring, and I finally got also the chance to showcase you the EL6. Now the EL6 is special because it's the smallest SUV of Nio, and it's the first model in Germany that also features matrix LED light, which works really good. One thing that a lot of viewers have been missing, as the other Nio models have only normal LED lights. Now I want to apologize, it is a bit windy today, so if you hear some wind noises during the video, I cannot unfortunately prevent it, as the last couple of days it has been pretty windy. Yeah, this is the EL6. You will see some nice content from it today. We'll look in the interior. We're also going to go for a little drive on the highway. I'm not going to show you the power swap station as you've seen it in my previous videos. But yeah, we're featuring the EL6 today. It's a very nice car. It's 4.85 meters long. It looks smaller than it actually is. The inside has a lot of space, as you will see in this video. Meanwhile, from the outside it doesn't look as big. It also has all the sensors, you know, and the LiDAR system from Nio. And yeah, I'm really happy that I can showcase you also the EL6, as it has been missing on my channel. As with the ET5 and ET5 Touring, Nio also offers some nice discounts on this vehicle, aka some zero interest rate on the website. The car is currently available on the online website for 51,000 euros, but you might also get a discount if you go to a direct Nio dealer. I would heavily recommend checking you out this car, as I've test driven it now, and you will see in this test a lot of stuff what I'm talking about, the handling. You will see the interior quality, and I can tell you one thing, this EL6 is perfect for people that look for an SUV which shouldn't be too big like the EL7 or EL8, but also want to have a lot of space, as this car offers some great space. So stay tuned, enjoy the review, watch it, and if whatever you like, be sure to comment under the video. Now you will see the EL6. Enjoy. So welcome back. We're now at the back of the car and we're checking out the trunk space in the back. As you can see, we have quite some space here, 580 liters in total. We also got some more space under here where you can store, for example, your Type 1 cable. And we are also able to click these buttons to fold the back seats down and getting over 1,400 liters of space. So there's plenty of space, which is very nice. Also, we have an electric opening in the back, and you also have a towing hook under it, which can tow up to 1,200 kilograms. I wish it would be 1,400 at least, but at least you can, so the option is very nice. And now we're gonna move to the back of the car, checking the back out, and then we're gonna go forward. So welcome back to the inside. We're sitting now at the back, and as you can see, we have this very nice, beautiful brown leather-ish here interior, also with some velour, which looks really good. We have some hooks here where you can put potentially a shirt or suit on. You can have some wrists here to hold on. We also have some nice lights you can turn off by swiping on them. And the seat in front is on my is in the position for me as a driver, and as you can see, I have a ton of space. One thing which is very amazing about this EV is that it's one where you can actually put your shoes under the seat, which is very nice. And look at this nice amount of space. We also have plenty of headroom. I'm 1.81 meters high, and we have nearly 1.5 fists up here, so even people with 190 can sit here very comfortable. And on both sides of the seat you have a very nice feature, which means we can even bring this back. Look at this, and we can recline this a bit, making it a bit more comfortable. Furthermore, we got a nice display here where you not only see the time, but you can also control the climate in the back. You can also control the radio if you want to, and here, as I said, you can also, if for example nobody sits in the front on the side seat, you can recline it forward, so you have even more space, which is very nice. You also have the ability to use heating on the back, which is very nice, not only for the bottom but also for the back, which is absolutely amazing. So you have seat heating in the back as well. In the front you have seat heating, seat ventilation and seat massaging, but on the back only seat heating, which is still very nice, so that's great. Also it works very fast, as you can see. We can turn it off instantly. Then you also have the ability to put this down here, and you have two cup holders, which is very nice, and also some additional storage here, which also has a USB-C port, so you can charge your phone. And you got another USB-C port here, so two USB-C ports. The materials feel very nice. You have some soft leather application here, more soft leather here, and on the bottom where the hard plastic begins, they covered it with some kind of jeans material, just like my jeans a bit, which feels very, very good. The only critique I have is in the bottle openings here. They could have put something like, I don't know, the same material as this one in here. However, the bottom is covered with rubber, which is very, very nice. And yeah, that's the back. We also have a massive roof, panoramic roof here, which is covered also. Not only can we open the sun blanket, but we can also fully open the glass roof, which is very nice. And now we're gonna move to the front seat, and I'll see you in a bit. So, welcome back in the front, and this looks a bit familiar to most Nio models you have already seen. We have two nice cup holders here, we have an inductive charging pad here, and we also got space, quite a lot of space here, which can open for both sides, which is very, very nice. We got our infotainment display here, we also got more space over here. And we have some nice, you can't see it right now because it's a bit too bright. Later on when it's dark, I will showcase you. We have also some nice ambient lighting under here and here, but you will obviously only see it at night. As promised, here's a little video when it's a bit darker, so you can see actually the ambient light, and it looks really, really good. We have put it onto the solar theme, which is kind of orange-ish, and looks really, really good. I'll also go to the back real quick. So very, very nice ambient light. You got also something on the ground a bit, on the side and front. Looks really, really good. Thumbs up. We also have Nomi here, but we don't have her as the cute little ball. We have her as the halo, which is more, how can I say, not as emotional as the ball. I like the little ball with the face. I think it's way cuter, but this is more decent if you don't like these play things. Now, one thing which is very nice, we have pretty much the same steering wheel as in the Nio ET5, which feels absolutely amazing. I love the look of it. And we also have a head-up display. I'll quickly take the camera for a second. And you can see there is the head-up display, so that's very, very nice. As I mentioned also, the car has matrix LED lights, which work pretty good. At night, the lights are pretty bright, you can see a lot. And yeah. If we look at the infotainment system now, you can see we have an estimated range of 300 kilometers. On the last 10 kilometers, we used 16.3 kilowatts. We have 10 degrees outside. It is pretty windy. So, and we have a battery state of charge from 75%. So 25% more, 400 kilometers of range. We have driven the last couple of hours a lot of highway. So, I mean, this last part was on the countryside, but in general, if we look at the consumption over here, we look at the last 100, you can see we have 22.3 kilowatt hours, which is pretty good considering there's a lot of highway in there. This is a pretty big SUV. We're weighing around 2.4 tons. And it's only 10 degrees warm in the evening, even around 5-ish degrees. So yes, you can drive this car pretty efficient for its size. So when somebody tells you they're not that efficient, you can drive these cars efficient if you want to. And you don't have to drive slow. You can also drive 120, 130 kilometers an hour on the highway. That's perfectly fine. So if people state Nios are not really that efficient, it really depends. Like, I have pretty good experiences with it, because as soon as you switch in the eco mode, for example, it will only use the rear motor, and in Comfort and Sport Plus it will use all-wheel drive. So if you want to save and consumption and just cruise along, you can use the eco mode, and it will only be use the rear motor, which is very cool. I also tend to drive with one pedal drive, which is very nice. So you don't have to use the brakes. Obviously, you should use the Ein-Pedal-Modus. Obviously, you should use the brakes from time to time, so to make sure they're not getting rusty, because that's a big problem with EVs. If you have the ability of one pedal drive, you might not use the brakes at all. So keep in mind driving with them. We also have, next to Eco, we have Comfort, we have Sport, Sport Plus. They all have different kind of accelerations. So on Sport Plus, for example, you get the maximum acceleration of 4.5 seconds, which is really fast, as you will see in our driving in a bit. And you also have here put modes, for example, when you're going into a washing street, you click on it, so it's very easy and intuitive to use. One thing which is very nice, as all Nios, we have a LiDAR system, multiple cameras. So that means if I go, for example, in the reverse right now, as you can see, amazing camera quality. We have for our side rims, our wheels, we have cameras, we have a top view. You see the back directly. It's very, very nice. We even have a 3D camera of the car. So that's pretty cool when you're parking again. Camera system looks really, really good, as always, as on all models. So that's pretty cool. It even shows the color white, and our car is white, which is very, very cool. So that's very, very nice. System super fluent, very, very nice. The audio is also pretty good. We have a 2000 watt system, if I'm not wrong, with Dolby Surround. So the sound is also very nice. And as promised, I'm gonna open. You have two buttons here. One button is only opening the blanket, the roof blankets. As you can see, it's very, very big. I'll just showcase it to you real quick. It's really big. It does, like, you would underestimate how big it actually is. It goes all the way back. I think this is pretty cool that they have two buttons, one for only this. And if I press the other button, it can also open the roof completely, which is nice. And I'll showcase you real quick. This is very, very, very cool. And there we go, we can put our hand out. Pretty cool. It goes back quite a bit, so that's very, very nice. And if you want to close it, you just click the button again and it closes completely, so that's very, very nice. They tend to have a normal glass glass roof that you can't open, so this is pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the interior. As I said, I really like it. And now we see us in a bit for driving. So welcome back. We're driving currently on the country roads. We're driving at the moment 80 kilometers an hour. It is pretty quiet. The double-proofed windows, sound insulated windows in the front are very, very nice. It's still a bit windy outside, but that's due to the weather. But even then, you barely notice the wind noise, which is very, very nice. The car feels super stable and smooth. As you can see, roads pretty clear. We are now in the eco mode, and if I go full throttle, it still accelerates decently, but of course nothing really impressive when it comes to the speed. Now, if you want to switch to the Sport Plus mode, all you have to do is either you click down here, or you click the two outer buttons of your steering wheel, and you will get a sound. We're now driving 70 kilometers, 100 is allowed, and if I push the throttle down, you can see 100. It is very fast. As I said, 4.5 seconds. 4.5 seconds to reach the 0 to 100, which is for such an SUV quite decent. We're gonna drive on the highway in a bit, see how the consumption develops. Should be ending up around 222 to 23 kilowatt hours, depending how fast we drive, maybe even 25. But with the countryside where it's around 16, we even out at 21, 22 kilowatt hours with these kind of conditions right now, which is for such a heavy vehicle pretty good. Now, I'm also going to show you the autopilot in a second, as soon as we're on the highway. And we're going to go on top of it right now. As stated with Nio, you have either the option to buy the batteries, or you have the options to either rent the 75 kilowatt hour battery or the 100 kilowatt hour battery. Keep in mind, the 75 kilowatt hour battery has a net capacity of 70 or 73.5, depending which battery generation you have. And when it comes to the 100 kilowatt hour battery, you can use 90 kilowatts of it. So whenever people think like, okay, why can this car not drive a bit more with a 100 kilowatt battery? that's due to only being able to use 90 of it, because the brute capacity is 100, the net capacity you can actually use is 90. I'm gonna put on the autopilot right now. Pilot is active, and I'm gonna put the speed on 130 kilometers an hour. As you can see, the car now steers by itself. I'm holding my hand on here because in Germany we have to hold your hand on it so it doesn't get deactivated. If I press the lanes change, it will do the lane change automatically, which is pretty cool. And there we go. Very nice. It does it automatically as well, very smooth. It could be a bit faster, but I'm not complaining. We're now gonna switch back to the right lane to showcase it again. I'm not doing anything. The car does it by itself, which is very cool. The suspension is very smooth. It is a bit more comfort biased though, because it's kind of a heavy SUV, so it's not the sportiest drive, in all fairness, and it's more comfort biased. But honestly, if you're looking for a more sporty car, I would recommend looking more into the Nio ET5 and ET5 Touring, as you're sitting way lower to the street. Besides this one also having a classic traditional steel suspension. We do not have air suspension here, but we do have adaptive dampers, which means if I switch to sport mode right now, the dampers will be a bit harder, and yes, here we can feel it, for example. Here we feel the ground a bit more. It is for the daily drive, it's sporty enough, but don't expect it to be like cornering everything. Although this, again, the whole suspension feels pretty good, and the car reacts pretty good when it comes to throttle control, as we have 490 horsepower here. However, again, it's the same, as far as I know, it's the same two electric motors as in the ET5 and ET5 Touring, meaning if you drive an ET5 and ET5 Touring, it will feel faster because of around 150 kilograms less weight, plus being way lower on the ground. But for people who like SUVs, very nice feeling. We're now gonna go here back on the lane again. We also have a warning in the mirrors. In case somebody is to our right, we have a warning in the mirrors. We also have here a camera if we change the lanes, which will show us if somebody's coming or not, which is pretty cool. Now into comfort mode. That means the dampers are comfort bias, and in general it feels very smooth. The car costs around 51,000 euros if you rent the battery. You can check it on the Nio website. There is some auctions for, there is some special discounts for it. If you go directly to the dealer, there might be additional benefits of lowering the price. That depends on the local Nio dealer, and you have to ask if there's additional discounts. Maybe you can lower the price by another 3,000-4,000 potentially. Now back to the battery packs. As I stated, we have two. We have the standard range battery and the long range. The standard range battery, if you rent it, is 159 or 169 euros a month, and the bigger battery, which I wouldn't recommend you because you don't gain that much range, is far more expensive at 289 per month. So I would recommend you go with the smaller battery, as it will be still easily cover up 300 kilometers and more with this car. The benefit of renting the battery is that you can use the power swap stations in Germany, and or in general, not only in Germany, but also in the Netherlands, in Norway and Sweden and so on. In Germany, where this video is made of right now on the Autobahn here, we have currently 21 power swap stations as far as I know, and now in 2026 they're still planning to open another one near Kassel. So we have then, I think it's near Kassel, so we have 22 power swap stations, which is pretty good because you can cover an entire road trip from north to Germany to south to Germany with only swapping, which is very nice. The only position where I would still like a power swap station would be around Flensburg, so we have directly at the Danish border another one, and then you have legit a perfect line down to the south up to Munich, which would be very cool. But yeah, in general, if I have to summarize this car, I like the look. I like the Nio look in general with these kind of shark noses. The proportions are pretty good. The car is in the inside, it looks way bigger than it is from the outside. It doesn't feel that big from the outside. It handles pretty good. For the daily drive, it's perfect. The comfort is really, really good. You don't need an air suspension. Conventional springs, steel springs are really, really comfortable with the adaptive dampers. And yeah, even on the highway it shines. It feels very good to drive. The interior quality is very, very nice. The only thing I wish from Nio is that, especially if you have an older battery, that they would start to replace especially the 100 kilowatt hour batteries with the newer Type B generations, as you will charge your car way faster up. The new Type 100 batteries can already charge the cars from 10 to 80 in around 25 to 28 minutes, which is pretty good for a 400 volt system. And yeah, so overall, solid car. Go check out the Nio dealers nearby if you have one. In Hamburg we have one, in Cologne, and multiple ones. And they're currently restructuring the whole German business as well. So there might be also some local dealers which they will work together, so we have a bigger partner network, and that's pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. We can look at the consumption now on the highway. Let's see, we're sitting right now 25, here's 19. We accelerated a bit. I'm driving 120 now. If I would constantly have driven 120 now, we could probably lower it, which is again, for the temperatures and this kind of big vehicle, pretty good. And yeah, thanks for watching again. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe on the channel if you like it. And also be sure to check out Nio. They have really good offerings start right now. You can get some very nice discounts in Germany. Maybe also in other European countries. I think they're also doing some nice discounts in the Netherlands and in Sweden and Norway. So be sure to check that out. And again, if you like the videos, tell me in your comments what you think about the car. I will also have a surprise for you soon on my channel, as I have sold my Golf GTI and I will be getting a new car, and that new car will be heavily featured on my YouTube channel. And be sure to stay in, tune into the next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Your channel is over and out. Bye bye.